reaching up with one hand. Just imagine you've grabbed something that doesn't want to come down, so you have to pull quite hard. Feel the muscles here kicking in, the muscles in the side to start that pull down. I'm reaching up to stretch these muscles here, and then they contract, and then the arm comes down. And then forwards. Again, feel the muscles as they're being stretched by the reach. Obviously, my arm is being stretched, but what I want to feel is the muscles around my core, lower back and belly. So to get the shoulder to go forwards, it pulls from this side of my back at the bottom. And then I contract from there. And finally, the hand starts coming in. If I stretch the muscle, then it's easier to kick it in and contract it. Reach and stretch, and then I pull. Back to prayer. Now the hands over the dantian, the lower belly. And now we just want to feel the breathing. So when I breathe in, my belly expands out a little bit. And then when I breathe out, my belly sucks in a little bit. So when you breathe in, the diaphragm drops in order to suck air into the nose. And it's that that pushes the belly out. And then when I breathe out, my diaphragm rises to squeeze the air out of the lungs. And that's what sucks the belly in. And now I want to try the reverse breathing, what they call the prenatal breathing. The breathing that the baby does when it's inside the womb, before it's taking air into its lungs, it's still breathing, but not through its lungs, but through the umbilical. So it sucks nutrients from the mother and then it sends out its waste products. So it's breathing like this from the belly. So now we need to have the activity in the belly, starting in the belly. The same way when I reached up here, I wanted to feel the activity of pulling it down, not starting in my hand, but starting from here. So this contracts and the hand is the last thing to move. So now what I want to do is suck the belly in by tightening the muscles here and breathe in at the same time. Tighten the belly to pull it in, and I suck air in through the nose at the same time. And then I relax and send the belly back out, and I breathe out. So I suck in, breathing in, relax, push the belly out, and breathe out. So it's much easier if you make it difficult for yourself by breathing through the small hole. So I suck in, and then I blow out. In and out. So as you pull the belly in and suck the air in, it's like the internal pressure is really increasing. And then you just release that and it will expand naturally, but you have to push it as well. I'm sucking air into my nose, into my lungs, but I'm sucking everything in. Everything is pulling towards my down chin. And then I breathe out. The belly is actually the lung now, and it's the whole body that's breathing. It's not just the chest. In Tai Chi, they say the lightness comes from the heaviness, the levity from the gravity. Gravity, not simply in the sense of heavy, but also in the sense of serious. So we try to make the actions that we do more difficult, to lend them more gravity, more seriousness, something we don't like. We have grown to loathe hard work. So to work hard at something, to really make an effort, you have to concentrate. You have to bring all your resources together in order to do this task that's almost impossible. And if we engage the body and the mind like that, we engage in hard work, what we find is it's only possible if we activate the spirit. Spirit is what makes the impossible possible. And that is the lightness that comes from the heaviness. Without the heaviness, the lightness is simply a silliness. It lacks depth. Deep is the new dirty four-letter word. So my depths are here in my belly. It's like a bottomless pit. So if I can get what I do to originate from here, then it's going to have depth. Moving from leg to leg, but using this same action of the reverse breathing. So let's just stand in riding horse a sec and just establish that. Let's try the breathing exercise. Pulling my belly in and then sending it out. But pulling the belly in and breathing in at the same time. And then pushing the belly out and breathing out. My belly pulls in. I'm breathing in through my nose, but the feeling is I'm also sucking from the ground. Everything is pulling into the belly. The air is coming into the belly and the ground is coming up. And then everything goes out. The air goes out. The energy goes back out of the feet. My dantian is a lung or a belly. It's feeding. It's feeding on the air. It's feeding on the earth. Now, the same thing. I'm going to just do 1 foot at a time. So I'm going to breathe in. I'm sucking the belly in, breathing in through the nose and sucking up the ground. So I suck. So I'm getting the action, which we normally feel starting in the bending of the leg. So my knee going out. Just trying to get it a bit deeper. I want it to come from here. So I pull the belly in, I clench like that. And that starts the movement as it starts the breathing through the nose. So I'm sucking the ground up into my belly, and that's forcing my leg to bend. I breathe in, and then I breathe out. I breathe in, and I breathe out. Breathe in, out, in, out. But that's using it to move from leg to leg. Now I want to get exactly the same action to turn me. So instead of moving my spine from one side to the other like this, I'm going to try and keep it in the middle. So now, if I suck with this leg, it will pull this towards it, yeah? And so, and then I can push. And then I pull. And then I push. I suck. And I expand. So I'm only turning a little way. So when I straighten the leg and breathe out, this is being pushed around here. And then when I breathe in and suck at the ground, it pulls me back to the front. And now if I want to continue the turn, so let's try it again. So I straighten this leg as I'm breathing out, and then I bend that leg as I breathe in, and then I straighten the leg as I breathe out, but use it to turn me this way. Yeah, so you just keep the turn to your left going. So let's try it again. So I straighten this, my left leg, and that pushes this hip around here. So now I'm now facing this corner. So this is now a back leg. And then I bend the leg and that pulls me back to the front. And then I straighten the leg again, but continue the turn to my left. And then I bend the leg to get myself back to the front. And then I straighten the leg to turn myself to this corner. Bend the leg to bring myself back to the front. Straighten the leg to bring myself round to this corner. So sucking in, contracting, and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So breathing in, contracts, shrinks. So that causes me to come back to the front. Breathing out expands. So when my legs expand, normally they would bring me up, but I don't want to come up. So the expansion of my legs turns me. They both straighten into this turn, but I'm just focusing on one at a time. Now let's try this leg. So I straighten the leg the way we normally do, pushing this hip round. It's now a bat leg, effectively. And then I contract, I suck in the belly and imagine that I'm sucking that piece of ground underneath the foot, and that will bend the leg. And then I straighten the leg again, but to push me round this side. And then I bend and I straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend, straighten. And now we can just get them both working together. So they're both really doing the same thing. So now both legs straighten, and that turns me to the side or to this corner. Both legs contract, and then both legs expand again. What I want to do is just make sure I coordinate the reverse breathing with it. So now I'm breathing in, and now I'm breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Sucking the belly in, pushing the belly out. Yielding, attacking. Swallowing, spitting. Okay. It feels as though working in that way, where you're making the breathing difficult in order to get the action starting here in the belly, just makes this a real physical center. And it feels like the legs and the upper body start to feel very similar. when a baby, before they can walk, and you change their nappy. Yeah, so you lay them down on their back and you undo the nappy and you take off the dirty one. And they're just so thrilled generally that they're free around here. And their legs kick away. And their legs are actually a lot more active than their arms. If they express their joy, it's more with their legs than with gesticulating with their hands. But it just looks like one thing, very much centered here. There's not a lot of difference between their legs and their arms because they haven't started to split the functioning of them yet. That's the feeling that we want when we're working in the Tai Chi. But everything's centered here, and my legs are prowling around very much in the way that your arms reach out to bring the world in. So we want the legs and the arms to basically just be the same, to function in the same way. I'm not using my legs to push the ground away from me. I'm using my legs to pull the ground towards me. That's how I move. So they say in Tai Chi, use the legs like arms and use the arms like legs. So our arms are normally reaching out to bring things in. So Tai Chi is a martial art. So we're using the arms instead to push out, to throw things away. But we're using the legs to bring us down to the ground because that's the source of our power. That's where the energy comes from. It just happens to be mobilized from the belly. And now let's just try the first two warm-up exercises. Again, I just want to really feel as though it's difficult. It's the opposite of the way people normally work. People normally work, they like it when something's easy because then they can just basically just not really concentrate. Their mind can start thinking about the things it wants to think about. What I want to feel is it's just really difficult. It's really, so I have to use the legs the way in order to pull, especially if I want to stay down. And I have to use the reverse breathing. So I breathe in, I breathe out, I breathe in, I breathe out. And now the second one. And just let this be light. Still feel the circularity, even though you're moving from leg to leg. It's the circles that you're interested in. And then just back. And now let's try turning by twisting the foot on the ground. So I want to force a turn in this direction. I'm going to use this foot and leg. What I'm going to do is try and twist my foot out like this. But the foot doesn't move because it's stuck on the ground. So what that does, it squeezes me round in this direction. And then I try and twist the foot the other way. I try and pull my toes in, and that pulls me this way. So now I'm twisting the toes out, turning this way, twisting the toes in, turning this way. This is the breathing in phase, and this is the breathing out phase, twisting. This is difficult, but it's there. It's possible. Forcing a turn of the body by twisting my foot on the ground. The foot doesn't move, so I have to move. Twist the toes in, and then I try and twist the toes out. Breathing out, breathing in. And now let's get the other one going. Twist the toes out this way. I'm trying to do this with my foot, and that turns me this way. And then I try and twist the toes in, and that pulls me back. Expanding, contracting. It's pulling with the legs again, but more from a twist. I want to feel the twist in my leg that forces the twist of my whole body, the turning of my waist. Pulling. So just get the arm twisting, and then that will encourage the leg to do the same. And now both together. So now I twist these toes out that way, and it forces me to turn this way. And then I twist the toes the other way, and that brings me back to the front. And then I twist these toes out and twist back in. just try the figure of eight. So just gentle. Okay. Now let's just try just a little bit of that earth and heaven one. So you can do this as lightly as you like. You barely need to go down. You can just have it all in the mind. Here, I want to feel this area opening up, like a big mouth opening up to take the ground in. And then here, the shoulders doing the same thing. This is all reaching out from here. And then just a few left and right. Here, feel the hand that's reaching behind you. We'll just finish with just a bit of the breathing again, but the reverse breathing, pulling the belly in, breathing in, sending the belly out, breathing out. And feel that breathing in, sucking at the ground as well. So it will want to pull you down even more here. And then here you'll want to push up. Okay, and then just up. Feel the stillness. The stillness is full of movement. My body isn't moving, but my body is full of movement. If it wasn't, then I would be dead.